Level 1, Intake Guard. The heavy steel doors behind you do not slam. They slide shut with a quiet, pressurized hiss that pops your ears. That is your first clue that you are completely off the grid. The clock on your wrist says 6 a.m., but inside this windowless concrete bunker, time is just a suggestion. You are standing in a stiff, brand-new gray uniform. Your badge says Entry Control. You have a sidearm on your hip, but they have not trusted you with the magazine yet. At Level 1, your job description is painfully simple. You watch doors. But by your first coffee break, you realize these are not normal doors. You are taught the golden rule of the site before you even learn where the cafeteria is. You never look through the viewing ports unless instructed, and you never, ever ask what is making that low, rhythmic thumping noise down hallway B. You spend 12 hours a day standing outside holding cells painted with thick colored stripes. Green means standard protocol. Yellow means you do not speak to whatever is inside, even if it sounds exactly like a lost child. Red means if the door opens without a supervisor present, you do not try to close it, you just run. Slowly, you stop seeing this place as a building. It becomes a machine, and you are just a tiny replaceable gear keeping the pressure steady. During lunch, an older guard with tired eyes points at your watch. He tells you to take it off. He says time works differently depending on which wing you are in, and watching the second hand tick backward will only mess with your head. You think he is joking. Nobody laughs. Later that shift, a localized alarm rings out. It is a low, bone-rattling hum. Your earpiece crackles, ordering you to face the wall, interlock your hands behind your head, and close your eyes. You stand there for 3 agonizing minutes. You hear heavy, wet footsteps drag past you, followed by a smell like burning ozone and old pennies. You do not peek. You do not turn around. That is the real test of Level 1. They do not care if you are brave. They care if you can follow a blind order when your survival instincts are screaming at you to look. By the end of your first week, you stop wondering what is on the other side of the steel. You just make sure it stays shut. Level 2, Corridor Officer. You earn your blue badge and a heavier matte black tactical vest with built-in comms. You are not just a doorstop anymore. You are a corridor officer. You handle transit. And you quickly learn that inside this facility, motion equals risk. When things stay locked in a room, it is mostly just math and pressure sensors. When you move them down a hallway, you introduce variables. By your third week, you have the facility map burned into your brain. You know every blind corner, every service elevator, and exactly how many seconds it takes for the emergency bulkheads to drop in Sector 4. Your first live transfer is a wake-up call. You are part of a tight escort team moving a humanoid anomaly to an interview suite. You expect a monster. Instead, it looks like a regular guy in restraints. That is actually worse. The most dangerous things in here rarely look threatening when they want something. As you walk, the guy looks over his shoulder, smiles, and asks if your mom liked the flowers you sent her on Tuesday. She did. You never told anyone at work about that. A cold sweat breaks out under your armor, but the squad leader's voice crackles in your ear, reminding you of the golden rule: no engagement. You bite your tongue and keep moving. The job starts swallowing your outside life. You stop meeting up with your old buddies for a beer. When someone at a family barbecue asks what you do for a living, you just say you work in government logistics. It is boring enough to shut down the conversation. You realize the less you talk about your reality, the easier it is to manage. One night, a senior chemist begs you to pop open a restricted door. She says she left her tablet inside and just needs 3 seconds. You refuse. She insults you and threatens your job. You stand your ground and keep it locked. The next morning, you find out she was compromised by a mind-altering pathogen. If you had opened that door, you would be in an isolation tank right now. That is the moment the endless bureaucracy stops feeling like red tape. It becomes a religion. You stop trusting your own human decency and you start trusting the rulebook. Welcome to the inner ring. You've traded your blue badge for a black one. At Level 3, you are an escort specialist. You are deep enough into the facility now that the ceiling hides automated turrets behind steel shutters, tracking your movements like a predator. Every door requires a retinal scan, a handprint, and a passcode that resets before your shift even ends. You aren't just moving nameless anomalies anymore, you are protecting the VIPs. You start learning the names of the head researchers. More importantly, you notice how they look at you. Down in level 1, you were just furniture. Up here, you are their walking life insurance policy. When the lights flicker, they instinctively step behind you. The job is no longer just following basic rules, it is navigating impossible contradictions. Keep the scientist alive, but do not compromise the transit route. Do not break eye contact during mirrored transports. Never turn around if someone calls your name from a dark corridor, even if it sounds exactly like your squad leader. One night, you were assigned to push a sealed, lead-lined crate down to Archive Vault K. The manifest just says, "Auditory hazard, direct exposure unknown." Halfway down a dead silent hallway, the heavy crate starts vibrating through your thick gloves. Then, clear as day, you hear your little brother's voice coming from inside the solid steel box. He's crying, asking why you missed his graduation. Your heart hammers against your ribs, but you do not slow down. You do not look at the medic walking beside you. You just keep pushing the cart until the vault doors finally lock shut. During the mandatory psychological debrief, the doctor asks if the anomaly triggered an emotional response. You look him dead in the eye and say, "Negative." It is a massive lie, of course, but at level 3, you realize the truth is a liability. You only feed the system the parts of yourself it finds useful. The rookie guards start looking at you with a mix of awe and fear. They watch how you clear corners, how perfectly still you stand. You kind of like the respect. But the harsh reality is, the better you get at this job, the more the facility trusts you. And the more it trusts you, the faster it erases whoever you used to be. Level 4, Breach Responder. The alarm does not just ring. It is a heavy, low-frequency siren that shakes the concrete floor and rattles your teeth. It is the unmistakable sound of total containment failure. The overhead lights snap to a harsh, bloody red. You do not work normal hours anymore. You live in a sealed ready room near the armory, catching sleep in 90-minute chunks with your tactical gear half on. You are the cleanup crew. You only roll out when things go completely sideways, when a patrol team goes dead silent, or when a steel vault gets torn open from the inside out. Your squad stacks up and pushes into a compromised research wing behind heavy ballistic shields. Fire sprinklers are spraying a thick mist. The security feeds on your wrist monitor are pure static. You turn a corner and see an empty stretcher sliding violently across the ceiling, pulled by gravity that should not exist. Command is barking rapid-fire orders into your earpiece, managing the chaos like a cold math equation. Then comes the moment that breaks you. A young scientist is trapped behind a reinforced observation window, pounding his fists against the glass, begging for help. But just down the hall, the primary sector bulkhead is jamming, stuck halfway down, and something massive is trying to pry it back up. Command orders you to drop the emergency blast shutters. The trapped scientist stares right at you, realizing what is about to happen. This is where your moral compass shatters. The rulebook strictly states that preserving containment outweighs saving personnel. The human part of you wants to shatter the glass and drag him out. The professional part of you hits the lockdown button. You seal the bulkhead, locking him in there with whatever broke out, because hesitating means the whole sector dies. When you get back to the barracks, nobody reprimands you. In fact, your file gets a commendation for textbook tactical prioritization. That sterile praise makes you sick to your stomach. For the next week, every time you finally manage to fall asleep, you are jolted awake by the sound of rhythmic knocking. At level 4, you realize you are no longer trying to be a good man. You are just trying to be an effective tool. Level 5, Tactical Sergeant. You do not even blink at the red strobe lights anymore. You are wearing silver on your collar now. You command a squad of 9 operators. You are not just surviving the facility's brutal rulebook anymore. You are the one enforcing it. Your mornings start with burnt coffee and a towering stack of incident reports. You watch hours of helmet cam footage, judging your guys. You decide who gets bumped up to the inner ring and who gets stuck guarding the motor pool for another month. Your words carry actual weight now, and that power changes you faster than the monsters do. One afternoon, you are running a live escort. The target is a humanoid anomaly that suddenly drops to its knees and starts sobbing like a terrified toddler. It is not attacking, it is just crying. One of your newest recruits hesitates. He drops the muzzle of his rifle a couple of inches and takes a single step out of formation to check on it. Nothing bad happens. The transfer finishes without a hitch. But the break in protocol was real. You saw it, and the security cameras saw it. Back in the locker room, the kid begs you to let it slide. He tells you it was just a reflex. You do not yell, you just transfer him to a low-risk checkpoint on the perimeter. Not because you hate him, but because the math in this place is brutally simple. 1 second of human empathy in the wrong hallway equals 6 body bags in a week-long lockdown. Mercy still exists here, but only if it does not threaten the airtight seal of containment. You learn the hard difference between a loyal guy and a useful guy. Loyal guys talk a big game in the barracks. Useful guys know when to erase their own instincts before they make a tactical error. Your squad starts mimicking you. They copy your flat tone, the way you check reflective surfaces before walking into a room, the way you stand with your hands hovering near your chest. Numbness is contagious. When you finally go home, your apartment is dead quiet and aggressively dark. You eat takeout standing over the kitchen sink. You have taped blackout curtains to the windows because natural sunlight feels wrong after living your life under fluorescent tubes and threat level indicators. By level 5, the facility does not just own your hours, it owns your nervous system. Level 6, Security Captain. The first time the site director actually asks for your opinion, you feel 10 feet tall. That feeling lasts about 3 seconds before the crushing weight of the job hits you. You aren't clearing hallways anymore. You are managing the people who clear the hallways. You used to think climbing the ladder meant more freedom. Up here, power just means you own the fallout. The problems on your desk aren't monsters. They are shift schedules, ammo audits, and signing off on fake funeral narratives. A low-level IT tech gets caught trying to smuggle restricted footage out of the facility inside a hollowed-out smartwatch. Internal Affairs wants to make a public bloody example out of him. The research division wants the whole thing buried to save face. And the executives want zero drama because a massive government inspection starts on Monday. You have 20 minutes to defuse a bomb without cutting a single wire. You toss the kid in an empty holding cell, crush the watch under your boot, wipe the transit logs, and walk into the director's office to tell him you handled a minor network glitch. He calls you a decisive leader. You know you just sold out a piece of your integrity to keep the peace. At level 6, moral compromises stop feeling like life or death emergencies. They just feel like middle management. You sit in a sterile office and lie to a weeping widow, telling her that her husband died in a routine electrical fire, knowing damn well he was torn apart during a containment breach. You stamp denied on a vacation request for a sergeant who looks like a walking ghost because the red zone is short-staffed and the facility's needs always trump human exhaustion. The worst part is that you can't turn it off. When you finally go out to a diner on your rare weekend off, you can't relax. You immediately scan the room for choke points. You refuse to sit with your back to a window. You realize the facility survives by deciding who and what is an acceptable loss, and you are starting to look at the civilian world exactly the same way. Level 7, Division Chief. You trade your tactical armor for a tailored suit, but make no mistake, this is the most dangerous rank yet. You do not carry a rifle anymore. You carry influence. Up here, the facility stops feeling like a concrete fortress and starts feeling like a shadow government. You sit in sterile boardrooms with intelligence directors, medical chiefs, and ethics committees. Everyone in those meetings speaks in carefully crafted circles. Everyone lies by omission. Your new job is to know exactly what they are leaving out. You do not track anomalies anymore. You track human breaking points. You know exactly which scientist gets sloppy when they are sleep-deprived and which squad leader overcompensates when he is scared. You can read the hidden panic in a room before anyone even opens a file. That makes you incredibly valuable and terrifyingly dangerous. A classified asset arrives at 3 a.m. total blackout protocol. No digital records, just a heavy case and a lot of sweating agents. The research heads argue over inadequate containment. Administration whines about budget delays. Ethics demands a temporary freeze. You silence the room. You bypass protocol, assign 2 guys you trust to haul it to a forgotten maintenance sublevel, and scrub the camera feeds yourself. It is a massive gamble, but it works. The next day, the site director gives you a quiet nod in the hallway. It is a promotion and a final warning wrapped into one look. The real currency at the top is not firepower, it is authorized risk. Your reputation becomes legendary down in the lower levels, but your actual world shrinks to the size of a pinhead. You do not have buddies. Your family is just a list of administrative vulnerabilities in a filing cabinet. You live in a high-end secure suite 3 floors below the surface. You have 2 armed operators stationed outside your door 24/7. Officially, they are your protective detail. Unofficially, you know the truth. The facility trusts you to run the show, but they will never let you out of their sight. Level 8, Site Custodian. It's 5:03 a.m. The quiet hour. The night shift is packing up and the day shift hasn't started yelling yet. You are standing alone in the dark behind a wall of bulletproof glass looking down at the massive central operations floor. You aren't wearing Kevlar anymore, just a dark, crisp uniform with a top-tier clearance band hidden inside the collar. When people walk into your office now, they instinctively lower their voices. They don't bring you problems anymore. They bring you impossible choices dressed up as executive briefings. At level 8, you don't guard the anomalies, you guard the meat grinder itself. You are the one who authorizes the memory wipes. You sign off on the lethal contingency plans you pray never see the light of day. To the guys at the bottom, it looks like you have ultimate control. To you, it just feels like permanent, freezing isolation. You know way too much to ever feel safe again. You know that a perfectly normal Tuesday can turn into a bloodbath just because someone misread a shipping label. You don't even get adrenaline spikes from the breach alarms anymore. It's just cold, exhausted pattern recognition. You realize you've finally lost the ability to be surprised. You look down at the floor and watch the sergeants barking orders. Then, at exactly 6:14 a.m., you watch the main entry blast doors slide shut with that familiar quiet hiss. A brand new trainee is standing there in a stiff gray uniform. He's staring at the red-painted line on the floor. You watch him puff out his chest, convincing himself he's starting a grand career. He thinks climbing the ranks means earning his freedom. He doesn't know the facility rewards obedience first, usefulness second, and then just hollows out whatever is left. The overhead speaker tells the kid to hold his position for biometric confirmation. The cycle starts all over again. If this dive into the facility pulled you in, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. It really helps keep these files open and the stories coming.